Right now, we'll start with from the last week where we have stopped. Right now, the last week we have just designed the login interface. Right now, login interface is just to display a message if it is true. And here we have done this another student info GUI that is to display values from the table we have created. And then, okay, this is it. And then to populate the values into the text field and to perform insert, update, delete it, search. All right. Then what I'm going to do first thing is right now, once user enter the username and password. Okay, now, okay, beforehand, I'm going to add another, right now, once you enter the username and the password, let's say, now we will have another field called select the language or language selection. Let's say, okay, we'll have another JFrame form from language GUI. Where it will ask a user to select a language, and there will be three buttons. Let's say we're going to implement this for English, and then let's say German, and let's say French. Right. Now, okay, now this is how it looks like. Now, what should happen now is initially it will display select a language, and then user will select a language from here, and according to the selected language, this would be displaying the rest of the interfaces based on the given language. Right. Now, what I'm going to do here is, right now, when you select a language here, right now I want to go to the, that means let's say first I'm going to show you how to do this the student info GUI, or let's say the login GUI. It's easy enough. We will do the login GUI quickly. Right. Now, beforehand, I will give you 1 minute. What you have to do is take a notepad and then copy these username, password, login, reset. Now, these labels, right from the Google Translator, search for the German translation for username, password, login, reset, and the French, the France. That means the country, the language you can use French, right? Is it? We are using yes, French, German, and French. And for the French, find the translations, and also for this search ID, name, age, address, insert, delete, update. For these, find the translations quickly. Or we'll do on the fly for the first two fields quickly. Right now, what you have to do thing here is right now. So before you go into this step, I strongly recommend you to, right, so when you are doing it for the first time, I strongly recommend you to keep a project, copy of your project, save a copy of your project, and then start working. Because if you do any mistakes, then you will have the copy of your project. right? Then you don't have to do it from the beginning, right? And here, right, okay, something else right now here for this form, right now when you open this form, right? Now, if you want to display a title here, in here, if you want to display a title, there's a property. If you select the form, there's a property called the title. Then here you can put a title here. Right now, I'm gonna log in. Student login. I'm gonna have just something like student login. Right now, here if you run this one, right now as a property, now here you will see it will display student login. Right now, for the student info, form also we have not given a property. Then you would have given student information. Right now, if you open it, you will be able to see it like student information. Right now, first thing I'm going to do it for the language GUI. Right now, would you be able to open this? Your project, is it? Right now, what you have to do is now, right now we are going to start with the login GUI. No? Open the login GUI. Right now, go to the navigator as well. Here, if you don't get the navigator, like you can get it from Windows Navigator. Now, when you click on the JFrame, here you will see Form Login GUI. But at the top, right click on that and then select Properties. Right. Then here the same properties would be displayed at your right here under Properties bar as well. Here, see, right click Properties and then select. Right now here previously you can see there is no file called bundle file is there. Right. But now once you enable this automatic internationalization, right now there will be a new file called bundle.properties generated for you, right? Okay, enable automatic internationalization. Right now, here we have enabled automatic internationalization. Right now, we close it. And if you want, right now for the student info also, select the form. Right now, click on the form student info GUI and then enable the automatic internationalization as well. Right now, we have selected that we have two forms, JFrames. Then we have enabled the automatic internationalization for the both form, right?
Sir, can you repeat how did you enable internationalization, please?
Right, now open the bundle file. Now you will see all the text field, all the button fields, labels we have used, text field, sorry, button text and the label text would display here, which we could change. Right now, therefore, this is the original file. We're not going to do any change for this. Leave it. When you close it, it will ask whether you want to save it. Save. Otherwise, you will lose this. Right. Then right click on the bundle file. Then select add locally. Add locally. When you select the locally, like I said, I'm going to implement it for two languages, German and right now I said French, right? German and French. Therefore, here I need to find the German and French. Then select the German, that is the country code and the language code. German. Then click OK. Now you will see there is a bundle file generated as DED. So the same way, we'll add another one, another locally for FR French France. French France. Right. Now you can see there are two bundle files generated. Right. Now it's where we require the translations. Right now, let's complete the German one first. Therefore, open the bundle file for DEDE, right? And then do the translation from where? English to German translation. And you might doubt that why this is not, why can't you do it for Sri Lanka? Sinhala? Unfortunately, the NetBeans here is not supported for the Unicode text with the Sri Lankan text. I don't know the reason apart from that. Right now, we have to do the same for the far other French properties as well. Now done with this. Now open the French properties. Now do the same translation for the French as well. Right now we are just done with the translations. Now we have to do certain changes. The changes are now we no longer require this. Right now, okay, go to the first you go to the login GUI, go to the backend. Now here, now you can see the constructor we need to change. Therefore, take a copy of the constructor and just paste it, and then we'll overload. Right, by passing a locally parameter. Then just pass a locally from java.util. Locally local. Okay. And then have it like locally dot set default to the locally you are passed. Locally dot set default as the locally you are passed. Alright. Locally dot set default as the locally you are passing. And Here, now I want to get this. I'm going to copy this line. And here you can type it now. Right now, what I want to do is now, when I call this login GUI with the locally, that locally should change. Then I'm going to go into the language GUI. Right now, I'm going to click on the English GUI, English button. What I'm going to do is I'm going to call the login GUI with new locally. Okay, new locally, I need to pass the country code and the language code. For the English, I'm going to pass EN units. EN units. And then, right, for the German, I'm going to pass DE, DE. You can see the bundle file as a DED. For the French, I'm going to have country code and language code. FR, French. Okay, now let's run it and see what happens now. When you run the language GUI, let's say you will be able to get like now if you click on the German, okay, now we got an error. What is the error? It says missing resource exception. Can't find bundle for base name. Right, the bundle file is not found. Right. Therefore, right now, right, remember that right click on your project, right click on your project and then select new folder. Right click on your project and select new folder and then name it as src source slash main slash resources. src slash main slash resources. Folder name. Right now you will see there will be a src slash main slash resources. Right. Thereafter, select the bundle files and drag and drop the bundle files to the folder you created, src main slash resources. Right. What we did, we created right clicking on the project, we created a folder labeled as src main resources, and then we have dragged and dropped the bundle files to that folder. Now go to the login GUI and go to the properties, right? Um, let's say go to the JFrame and go to properties. Then you will see there's a bundle file. Then go to the bundle file and change this into. Now this is inside, right where? Inside the SRC, uh, inside the SRC main resource now. Therefore select it and then select right now here select the bundle file, the property file. Select the property. Right now here what you have to do is now from the right click on the JFrame and under the property bundle file click on this. Now here select the from the folder you created, select. Now the folder we created is RC main resources. Under that, you will see bundle file, select OK and click close. Now let's run it again. First you need to run the language and then you see. You will be asked to select the language. If you select English, then this should be in English. If you select German, you can see this would be in German. If you select French, now this would be in French. Right now, this is how you apply the internationalization for one frame. And then see, and again one thing, when you close it, when you close one file, it closed everything. Therefore, go to the login GUI here. Right now, okay, we'll do it later. We have to change the default close operation if you want. We'll have a title for the language UI as well. We forgot it. All right. Now, okay, after you perform this, let's say now if you have done this correctly, that means once you enter the password properly, I want to go get into this student info as well. Therefore, go back to the source here. In the student info also, take a copy of this constructor and overload it by passing a locally object locally from Java.utility. Locally LCL, and as the first line, change locally dot set default as a locally your pass. And thereafter, now I want to call this one, that means student info GUI. If the password, if user has entered the correct password. Right now, what we have to do is so what user has to do is from the login GUI. If user has entered the correct username and password, now where we display a message. After the message, what we're gonna do here is we gonna what is Okay, we're gonna paste. That means after uh, the display message, I'm gonna display a new student info GUI. We have to pass with the locally object we have. Right now, currently, you can see we cannot get the locally object, right? Therefore, at the top of this class, we have this, at the constructor, we have the object here. Then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a global variable locally local, and I'm going to assign this local variable as the LCA. Now the local variable contains the locally we have passed. But then what I'm going to do here is here at the when I'm calling the student information GUI, I'm going to pass the local variable. Right. Now it displays the message and it calls the right. Okay, let's select the language. Let's run the language file. Ask you to select the language. Let's say German. It loads the necessary one with the translation. Username admin, password 1234, and this is the login. It says welcome, and then now again, right now you are getting error saying I can't find the bundle. Why? We have not changed the bundle file. For that, go to the student info, select the JFrame. From the form, select the properties, change the bundle file location into the what we have created, SRC main resources. And then select the bundle file, click OK. What you have to do, select the JFrame from the navigator, select the form, go to the properties, from the bundle file, here select the folder we have created. So SRC main resource, right? Okay, then run it and see. Now, if you run the individual files, now those will be running only in English, right? Because we have not changed the constructor. Now you can see here this also changed to German, right? And if you select French, now you can see here this also in French. This is German, this is French, right? Now this is how you do the internationalization, right? Now here, now I don't want to let's say when you log in, I don't want to select the language right now. Now this is for just testing purpose, no? And even closing one would close everything. See, therefore, right now let's go to the login GUI, the language selection. Right now, every time when you open the new login GUI, right now let's write this dot set visible false. That means this would be hidden. Language selection one would be hidden. Set visible false. Right. Then add the login GUI. Once you enter the correct password here, and once you call the student info GUI, let's close the password entering this dot set visible false. Right. And also, now we want to change the default close operation as well. Therefore, when you select login GUI, during the login GUI, right now, let's see how it's going to go now. Okay, again, I'm going to change from the project properties. I'm going to change to run the main class as the language GUI. And now I can run from this one, which should run the language GUI. Let's say now if we select French, now this would be hidden and the next one would be appear. Right now, then I enter the username and the password, and then here, once I click OK, this would be hidden and this would appear right now in French. Right now, if you close it, everything will get closed. Right now, this is how you could do the internationalization with multiple JFrames. That means multiple JFrames, right? Not only for just one. This is how you do it for multiple JFrames, right? Is there any questions? Are you clear on it? Are you okay?
Okay, sir.
Right, okay, please try it. Right, now, okay, now that is done. Okay, then, do you want few minutes to try it out?
If possible, sir.
Sorry?
Sir, can we have a few minutes to
Yeah,
try?
sure, sure. Okay. You can have around 10 minutes to try out and ask questions, please. Okay, were there any questions you had? Or were you able to do this?
Uh, I was able to, sir. No
Right,
issues.
good, good. Right. Okay, then here, if you want to display time, if you want to display the date, let's say date and time. Now, this is not active time, right? Now, just at the time it loads from the system, if you want to display that time, I'll show you how to do that. Right now, for that, you can have a variable label here. Um, let's add a label here. Okay, the label. And then from the code behind, right now, let's say from the init components. Right now, this is where I'm going to load it. This is where I'm gonna I'll show you how it works with the okay, let's do it with the locally one right now. Then we'll see the differences as well, right? Okay. After calling the init components, I'm gonna create. Now this is a pretty old way of getting a date, right? Now you should get from java.util date, right? Now you can use date. Now object from the date class equals new date, right? Right now this is you can set by milliseconds as well. Right now when you use this date class, right now this is represent the specific time with a millisecond accuracy right now. Therefore, you can pass the like they have a different constructors when you're using the date object here. Then you would have seen it, right? Then first you need to create the date, and then if you want to format it, then you need to use the date format class. There's a class called date format. From date format, now it's an abstract class for date and time formatting. Date format, let's say df equals, we need to format the date. Date format df is equals to date format date format dot. Right now you can see whether if you want to format only the date, if you want to format the time. Likewise, get date time instance will provide the formatting style for the date as well as time. Right now, here this won't display the active time, just the time of the page load. Okay, I'm just gonna get it. Get date time instance, and I need to pass the date style as well as the time style. And how should you format it? Then I'm gonna set the date formatting style as date format dot. You can see the formats, the way you want to format it. Whether you want to have only the date field, day of the week. Likewise, you can see the options are there. I'm going to use the full form. And for the time also, I'm going to pass the date format dot full. And thereafter, I'm going to set this into JLabel 6. I think JLabel 6, is it? Yes, JLabel 6 dot set text. What I want to set? Date format object dot df dot format, df dot format the date. Right. Right now, this is how you set the date object. Right now, with formatting done. Right now, let's run the. Now, this is only available in right now. Okay, the same thing. I'm gonna have it in the default constructor as well. And there, I'm not gonna format it by. Okay, date format full. And here, in the with the locally one, okay, let's pass the locally as well. Right now, you can pass the locally as here is the LCL. Right, here we'll pass the locally as well. Now we have passed the locally as well. Right now, in the default constructor, we have just passed without the locally. Here, that means if you right click and then select run file, the label 6 would display just the date according to the English. Right now, you can see here it displays Saturday, July 13th. Right now, this is how it's gonna display. Right now, if you run the project, that means let's say I'm gonna select German. Right now, if you select German and if you enter the username and the password, admin 1 2 3 4 and login, welcome admin, and then now you can see here this would display according to the German language. Why? Because we are passing the locally when you are formatting the date. We are passing the locally when you are formatting the date. This is one way of doing it, right? This is one way of getting the current date. Right now, uh, there may be cases where you want to, right now after Java 1.8, after Java 1.8, local data, local date time object was introduced. The class was introduced. That means local date time class was introduced with the Java time package in Java 8 after Java 8 years. Therefore, now using the local date time objects, it represents the date time without the time zone. Right. Right now, if you want to try that as well, I'm going to show you the way you do it. Here, let's make this as a comment for a while, and I'm going to show you how can you handle it. Right now, first you need to create a local date time object if you want to display both date and the time. Right now, you can have local date and time. Local date time object from the java.time package. Local date time is equals to, you can say local date time dot now. This is obtains the current date time from the system clock in the default time zone. Right, local date time dot now, and then if you want to set that right thereafter, if you want to format that as well, right, you can have the date formatter. Right now, let's have the date time formatter as well. Date time formatter. Date time formatter. Df is equals to date time formatter. Right now, you can see the options we have. Date time formatter dot local date time. Let's say local time, offset date time. Or likewise, you can see you can pass the pattern as well if you want. If you want, you can pass the pattern with the locally as well if you want to have it like the previous one. Right now, let's say I'm going to show you here what you're going to use ISO date time first. Yes, ISO date. Okay, ISO local date time. Right, and thereafter we can write JLabel 6 dot set text using date formatter dot date formatter dot. Right now we need to format date. Right. Okay, now this is applicable only for the default constructor. That means if you right click and select run file, that would apply. Right now you can see here that would display the local date time format. Year, month, and year, month, date, and the time 10:31, 59 seconds, and 654 milliseconds. Right? Okay, microseconds. I don't know. Right now, if you want to change it, the way this is not the way you want. You can just change it by I date time formatter dot off pattern. Right now, off pattern. Right now, if you can say off pattern, you can send the pattern you want. Let's say I want to display the month first. Month, hyphen, date. Let's say year, month, date. Oh, no. Month, date, year. Okay, if you want to just see the difference, the way you want, you can handle it. No space and hours and minutes and the seconds. Right now, let's run it and see. What does it say? Field day of year can be printed as the value minimum print width of 2. The final field day of year. Right, seems the minimum or something width of 2. Two. Okay, let's change this and see why this does not pay. We want, okay, the date. We want the date, month, year, we want date, month, year, hour. Right now, this would display the date, month, year, hour, minutes, and seconds. Right. If you change it, what will happen here? Month, date, year. Right now, you can see here, even though I said like now MMDDYY, then you can see month 7, date 13, year 2024, the time. Likewise, you'll be able to use it from the local datetime class with the java.time package, Java time package. Right now, this is how you work with this. And even if you want to try this with the locally, that is also possible. Right now, if you want to try this with the locally, what you have to do here is right now here we have to pass. Now, when you are passing the date of pattern, the string pattern and the local. Right now, the string pattern and the locally we can pass it as LCL. Right now, then if you run this, you have to start from the language GUI. if you want to pass the locally as well. You select French and then you select enter the username and the password, and then you cannot see any differences here because we just set the values here. When you pass it locally, then you have to change the formats as well. Right now, if you want to have the change the format, for an example, right now let's say I want to display the date, then I'm gonna have the date. I think it's E. I can't remember. You have to just refer to the Java time package if it is not working. And the month, I want to display the month and the date here. Okay, let's run it and see. E is is fine. Okay, right. Admin 1, 2, 3, 4. Right now you can see here the way it displays. Saturday it displays as same July, June. Likewise, I don't know the translation. Right. Therefore, right now, if you select the English translation, that will display accordingly. If you select the English translation, English admin. Right now, you can see it displays Saturday, July. All right, now this is how it displays. Okay, now this is how you change with the logo. Right now, this is up to you the way you select the way what you want. Right. Okay, now this is how you display the date time with the localization. According to the locally, that is how it get handled. Right. Okay, now what I'm gonna do here is right now this date time object here I'm gonna create at the beginning. Right now for the student info, let's say. Okay, now okay, I'm gonna start working with the language GUI. That means for you to show now when, sorry, in the login GUI, when user entered the correct username and the password, I want to write about the the time and the date and the time. I want to write the date and the time with their login username. Right now, for that, I'm gonna copy this for a while. Okay, I'm gonna take a copy of this and I'm gonna go into the login GUI. Now, what I want to do is I want to write into a text file. Okay, let's say this is a log file I want to do. I want to try a log file. Right, then how can you do that? Okay, when you write in the login, when you click on the login, That means if the username and the passwords are matched here, right, I want to write into a text file. Let's say now that means if the username and passwords are matched here, this is where I'm going to get the a local date object here. I want only this, and then right now what I want to do is I want to write into a file. Right now I want to write into a file. Therefore, I'm gonna open the. I'm gonna use the. I'm gonna create a file object. I'm gonna use the file object. Okay, you could have done it using file writer as well, right? Therefore, you can open the file writer. Therefore, first I'm gonna create a file object. Then, using the file class, I'm gonna create a file object. New file. You need to pass the location of the path. Like now, I'm gonna create the file in the project itself for the time being. Then I'll show you how to change this into a different location. Let's say now I'm going to change it as log.txt. Now this would, right now I want to create the file. Right now, right, that means right now here, if you want to create the file, so that means right now if you say file of object f dot create new file, now this would create the file. And then if you want to write, then if you want to write, you can use the file writer. File writer object, file writer dot file writer, let's say w equals new file writer. We need to pass the file. And whatever the way, whatever the context you want to write, then w dot write, w dot write. What I want to write is I want to write df dot format dt, the date. I want to write the date plus slash t space as the username of the user, and the username logged in. Okay, we'll write it like this. Username user logged in, logged into the system and logged in, logged at. User logged at slash it. Right. Okay, now I'm gonna write user logged at this time. User logged at this time. Once you finish writing, Right now you can. Okay, before you can close it, you can flush the content, then w dot flush, and thereafter you can use w dot close, writer dot close. Right, and thereafter, if you want to read the content as well, if you want to read the contents, right now we'll create the file reader as well. File reader object, file reader, fr equals new file reader. We have to pass the file object, and then right now thereafter we have to read it. How to read it? Now we have a file reader object. Right now, okay, I'll show you right how to read the file later on. Just let's check whether how to write into a file. Right now, let's run the file. Okay, that means when the user select, enter the username and the password, that has to be written. Right now, if user enters admin 1 2 3 4, and if user then login, this is where this should be. Right. Okay, now let's see whether it has been written. I think under the documents, it means projects, and then this is main project 2. This is the log file we were talking, and then if you open the log file, right now this is how it displays admin logged at this time. The admin user logged at this date at this time. Likewise, it has been written. Right. Now, if you run it again and again, if you run this project again and again, will there be multiple records? Right now, we'll see. Or whether it writes on the same, whether it writes on the same thing, we'll see. All right, now, if the user enters English, and then if the user enters the passwords, admin 1 2 3 4. Right now, again, it displays this. Right now, let's go and check in here whether does this contains 2 records. Right now, here you can see again the new type. Right now, therefore, it okay. I want to keep, that means I want to keep writing onto this every time I run this project. I want to keep writing into this text file. This is what I want to do. Right now, that is what I want to do. Right now, how can we handle it? Okay, quickly try out this up to this point, and thereafter we'll see how to write into multiple, how to update the file, or how to append the text. Right now, here I'm gonna change the location of my log file. Right now, here I want to have it on the folder Java log. Inside there, I need to have the file called log.txt. Right now, this is where the location is. Right inside, C uses G1 desktop Java log folder inside our log.txt. Right. Right now, here remember when if you want to use the slash right now, how can you do it? Right now, you need to have double slashes, right? Right. Then the file is there already. Now I want to write into the file. And when you're writing into the file, like now, remember if you want to append it, if you want to append, you need to pass true. Right now, if you want to append it, you need to pass true. Right now, let's see whether how it's gonna work now. Right now, let me check what are the users we have here. Uh, student users. Use APC 123, just is AST1, AST, test AST. Right now, from the user also will run. ABC123, ABC123. Right. Right now, I have just enter the password 3 times and see how it's gonna work out. Right. Now, let's open the log file and see how does it display. Right now, here it should display. Right now, I have logged in using admin test and user accounts. Right, you can see here. Now, it keep on appending to the file. Right, admin test user. Right. Now, this is how you right now write into a file now. Right, you can see now here. This is how you change the location of a file, and then after you have the file, you can keep on writing to the file. Right now, if you want to read the file, if you want to read the file, how to read the file? Right now, reading from a file. If you have to read from a file. Right now, you can see that now when you want to read the file, right? Now we know how to create a file and how to write to a file, we know. Right now, right, using the scanner also, we could read the file. Or there's something called file reader. Using the file reader, you can read as well using a file reader. Right now, we have used file writer right now. Right now, as the same way, you could read it from the file reader. There are several ways of doing it. Right now, using the file reader is just a one way. Right now, you can read the file from the file reader, or you can read it from the scan. Right now, let's use scanner. Right now, in order to use the scanner java.util, let's say scanner scn is equals to right read. Right now we have to say new scanner. Right now we have to have the file name. Right now this time file object we have already created, so therefore I'm going to use file object. Yeah, and then I can use while the scanner object is scn scan dot has next line. That means as next line will return true as next line. As next line is here. Right now it returns true if there's another line in the input of the scanner. Right now if there is no line next to it, then it will return false. Therefore this will run as long as we have a line. Then while scanner has dot next line. Right now I can display it on the console. Okay, let's say we'll write into the console. Um, system.out.print, and then I need to get the values. The values I can get it from scanner object dot. Right now, what you have to get scanner object dot next line, because we can read it by line. Scan object dot next line. Right now, um, here okay, we can have it here right now. Okay, every time now here where it writes and thereafter it will display on the console. Therefore, you have to keep monitoring here. So this is where it's gonna display the output. Now, once user enter the username, admin, and the password, and when user say login, this is where it's gonna start writing, and then it could display. Yes, because the default local we can't set it to now. We can select English. This is how you read. Right, it's my bad. We have to run from the project itself because the default constructor we have not. Right now, this is how you read it from the file. Right now, this is for the console. Right now, you have to try how to read it from the how to retrieve these inputs to a text area. Okay, try out. Let's say here we have another one, another interface. JFrame. Let's say I have another one called display and where I have a text area, so you can have the list. You can have a list, and when you have a button here, and when you click on that button, how to read the values into this list. So that's what I want you to do. We have a list. Read these values. We have a list, and when you click on this button, load, how to load the values from the file here. Okay, quickly try out. Right now, we have the file. What we can do is here, we can have a default list mode. We can have a default list model. DL is equal new default list model. We can have a default list model, and also we can have the generic as well as a string, because we're gonna have the string values here. Right. And thereafter we have the file to read, and then um, we can have the scanner. Then, okay, we are trying to read it from the outside file. Therefore, we better use the try catch block. Therefore, we'll put that inside the try block. Catch. And we can use the exception here. That should be throwing an input output exception. Like therefore, we can say IO exception E. If there's a message, let's say we'll display like E right. We have file object right now. This also we can do it. Okay. And then we have a scanner, we are trying to read, and then each time we are reading, what we're gonna do is here, we're gonna add that into the DL dot add variable, and we're gonna put it from scanner down next line. Right, then thereafter, after the scanner finished, we can say JList1 set model as a defined DL. Right now, when you do this, let's see, you are right click and then select one file. And once you open it like this, and if you click load right now, here it will display that is like this. Admin log name, just that, user log that, likewise you can see the times. And this is how you read from the file as well. Right, now load from the file. Then okay, this is the file we have moved, and then what I'm going to show is down. Here now we have done the UIs you can do, login you can do, insert, update, delete you can do, search you can do, internationalization you can do, logs you can do now, read and write I have showed you, and the date time halfway I have showed you. You need to find out how to display the current time, and the bill or receipt, that's up to you. Reports up to you, and then that means 10, 10, 20, 35. 35 marks up to you. The rest 65 marks, I have already showed you how to do that. And then it's a matter of just finding further and then fine tune the logics and then have it. Right now, this is how you complete the project. And then right now, by the next day, right, there will be no classes, but you have to join and then show me the progress.